So what is up, guys? Nick here, helping you to master your technology. Should you switch to iPhone? As we near August and September, we are getting closer to the iPhone 13, and every time around this point of the year, I start to think, you know, should they switch to iPhone, the people that are using the Android devices? So this is what that video is for. So those of you who are on the fence, like, should I switch? This is going to be a good video for you. So I'm going to give you 5 reasons why you might want to switch, and then 5 reasons why you might not want to switch, because I want to make it fair and as objective as possible. So the first reason you might want to consider switching over to Apple is the ecosystem. So it's really tough to beat this product when it comes to the ecosystem of the Apple Watch, as well as, you know, having the iPhone, the iPad, the Mac, things like that. That's my very first reason that I think you might want to consider making the switch. And it's not just that they have those products, it's just how well they work in conjunction with each other. So when you are going to pick one up, if you pick up the Apple Watch and you pick up the iPhone, how similarly they work together is a big draw for this platform. So, you know, if you go to another ecosystem, yes, you do have a lot of similar products. However, those products don't always seem to work as seamlessly as the ones here on the Apple side. So still, definitely, I would say their ecosystem of products here is still second to none right now. So that's a very big draw here of switching to iPhone. The second reason why you might want to consider switching to iPhone is the way they lay out the iPhone here is just super simple to use. So basically, you know, you do have more with iOS 14 where you can dig around into the features and get a lot going on here, as well as in the app library over here. You do have this going on. You could add widgets and there's some light customization, but overall at its core, it's still a very simple, you know, grid of icons, home screens, side to side action swipes. That's it. There's really not much to it unless you want to go above and beyond, download some apps and customize it yourself, which is really up to you. But at the end of the day, it's still just going to be the app library and your home screens, whether you're putting widgets or not. It's still a very simple operating system, very easy to use once you get the hang of it. And my next one is updates. Now, I don't say this because, you know, other phones don't get updates. There's many competing phones that are getting longer updates now, but iPhones get major updates for many years, and even down to like 5 years, you're still going to get major updates, not just security patches. So some Android phones are promising longer support, but that doesn't mean you're going to get the major updates. You're just going to continue to get security updates. So I would say that the iPhone is still in the lead when it comes to updates. They also still come out a bit quicker and they roll out a bit better and less fragmented than you'll see on Android competitors. So it's hard to beat them when it comes to updates. That's the third reason you might want to switch to iPhone this year. Number 4 is that they do have leading designs when they do decide to switch up the design. So I will say that, you know, iPhone, when they do it, you know, they don't do it often. They kind of stay conservative for most part, but when they do switch up the design, like for example, when they went to square edges, there's not really many people that are doing the same thing. So there's not many phones with this exact, you know, squared edge design or anything like this. And when they did come out with the notch, you know, they were kind of first doing that, and then other phones tried to copy. People didn't like it, and then Android phones switched it up. But when they do redesign their phones, they do have pretty good leading designs, I would say, overall. I'm not saying they're the best out there. That's really subjective, up to you, but they do definitely lead when they do finally redesign. And my 5th reason why you should consider switching to iPhone this year is because you can get a much bigger resale value when you do decide to pick this phone up. I mean, why would you want to buy a phone? And this especially rings true for these flagship devices like the 12 Pro, the 12 Pro Max. Why would you want to pick up a phone that costs $1,000 or so, and then when you go ahead and sell it, you're not getting anything back for it, or you're losing 50-60% of the value? That doesn't really happen here for these devices unless you keep them extremely long. They will definitely give you quite a bit of dollars back. And when you do trade-in values, you also get higher trade-in values for the iPhone device as well. So I would say that's definitely one of the reasons. Again, this rings more true for the flagship device. If you buy like an iPhone SE 2020, that's not going to give you a ton back because it didn't cost a ton to begin with, but these do hold their value quite well. So I'm going to tell you the first reason not to switch to iPhone this year. So this video title is Should You Switch? And I'm giving you 5 reasons why you shouldn't. And so the first reason you shouldn't switch here is that you rarely ever get deals on these phones. Apple keeps these phones at their full price for most of the year. So you essentially never get a deal. Like you can look for a carrier deal and stuff like that, but when it comes to just straight up, you know, looking for this price point to come down on like some crazy deal, it doesn't really happen here for the iPhone. You're typically going to pay the full cost of an iPhone. It's just the way it is. You know, if you see Samsung devices when they first came out, like a couple months later, they'll have major promotional deals. Even sometimes when they first launch, they give you a pre-order deal that's insanely nice versus the actual MSRP. It doesn't really happen here for iPhone, so they don't really give good deals. That's my first reason. The second reason is you lose the customization options that you're used to seeing on Android devices. And what I mean is it goes a little bit more deeper than just the light customization of widgets and, you know, how iOS 14 is bringing a little bit more. And I'm not talking about jailbreaking. I'm talking about things like you'll see on a Samsung device, for example. If you go to the theme store, it gets deeper. The icons you can change here, the always on display, like this deeper customization, you just don't find it for the iPhone. The iPhone doesn't even have an always on display. So unless you jailbreak and you get really deep into it, you can do a lot more on an Android device when it comes to customization. Although again, it is nice that they are bringing widgets and stuff like this that does add to the customization factor, although it's still not quite as in depth. Reason number 8 to not switch over here to an iPhone is that even though there are some more premium pro devices these days, they don't usually have the leading specs on a phone. Now, yeah, they might have the best processor, the fastest processor in the A series line, but a lot of times you'll be able to find a camera that can zoom farther. You'll be able to find, you know, phones with 16 gigabytes of RAM on the Android devices, with these are only having 6. So not saying that they don't run amazing, they're very well optimized, but I'm saying if you're looking for the most specs you can get out of your phone, the most innovation you can get out of your phone, like one of these flipping, you know, Surface Duo products right here, something like this, just very groundbreaking, you're not really going to see that here for iPhone. So if you're into that kind of stuff, you foldables and things like that, you're not seeing that just yet here on the iPhone side. It's just going to be a standard slab style smartphone. So overall, just getting something very different or very, you know, high spec, it doesn't usually happen here. You just get a really well-rounded quality product here for the iPhone. My fourth reason not to switch is there's no always on display. So you can see your clock right there, but just no option for always on display, which is kind of disappointing because this iPhone's, all three of these right here, the 12 series, do have OLED displays, but none of them can show an always on display. So it's just a little minor point I just wanted to talk about. No reason not to buy this. And my last reason for why you maybe shouldn't switch is because they don't have a 120 hertz panel. Still, that's kind of mainstream here in 2021, is a 90 hertz to 120 hertz panel. Some phones even have 144 hertz. These are still running 60, so they are lagging behind when it comes to this element. That doesn't mean they're not smooth. They're still very smooth devices, and it doesn't seem to bother millions of other people who don't really care about specs and they still buy them anyway. But I'm just saying, if you're looking for reasons why you should and should not, this is a reason why you should not make the switch over here to iPhone. So those are 5 reasons why you should switch and 5 reasons why you shouldn't switch. So which reasons did you resonate with the most? That should tell you if you should or should not switch. Whatever one you felt more strongly about should tell you right there if you should make this switch. Let me know your thoughts on iPhone here in 2021. Where do you think it stands as a whole? Are you like super happy with this? You're staying here. You don't really care about the whole, you know, specs on Android and all the innovative products, the folding devices are coming out. You're just staying put. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments section of this video. And if you found this one helpful, entertaining, informing, click the like button for me. Subscribe for more. Nick here. Be sure to be well and peace.